Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about water. So actually, I also want to drink some water. So this water is in a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
And Robin, he made an exception right now because he got a dry throat and I cannot offer him his own water. Robin drinks only his own water.
Yeah.
He makes his, he filters his own water and tries to avoid whenever he can bottled water.
Yep, I have
Why is that? That's because of you told me something with microplastic or so. Or
yeah. So there is when you look at bottled water, there's different parts you have to look at. So for example, this one is what is it bottled in? So most of our water is plastic bottles, and the issue with plastic bottles is not just the leaching of chemicals, right? Which is why we're trying to use like PET free plastic and this and that and BPA free and all those things, because the better the plastic, the less leaching there is. But most plastic still leaches, especially, and this is the point. In which country are we in? It's the country with where we want like the most sun almost, and the issue is the heat. Is getting warm, and it's the UV radiation, right? So the issue is when this kind of the water you buy in supermarkets gets stored, right? There's a shelf life, and we'll get to that in a second, for 2 years, which means they're not going to store it in a cool air conditioned place here. They're going to store it outside, right? It makes sense out of a business perspective. Like it makes sense, and that's the issue, right? So the sunlight and the heat is constantly pressuring on the water, right? And your water is not completely fresh. It's not bottled yesterday and delivered to you today, right? So then you have all these chemicals leaching into the water, and also the microplastic particles dissolving into the water, or not dissolving, but getting rid from the plastic and staying in your water. And
so basically, due to the heat and the UV light, so basically the climate of Dubai is, or the weather is facilitating the fact that our bottled water in the beginning is already bad. Because particles of plastic, microparticles, are going off the wall of the bottle and are dissolving in the water, and we drink it.
And for example, we now have these paper cups, paper straws. What people, and everyone can research this. Like this is not like I'm making it up or just an idea of mine. Like this is especially broke big news recently that actually these plastic straws and plastic cups are almost worse for our health, because if it was just a paper cup or paper straw, as soon as it gets wet, it would get mushy and would dissolve, right? But it can't. So that means there is a lining of plastic and of chemicals, right? Because that's what it is inside. And especially when you have like your hot coffee in there, or the same way if you microwave food, these particles and these chemicals are released into the water and into the food. And it's funny because, like we said in our first try, they even found, and these microplastics are found everywhere, and it's becoming more and more of a topic, right? Like 5 years ago, nobody talked about it.
Yes. And you wanted to talk about the toxic lady,
Yeah, exactly. There's this woman in Canada or in the US, I'm not sure, but she tested her blood on toxicity because of the plastic and the forever chemicals in these plastics, right? That leach into our food and drinks and then get into our body, right? And she basically realized that her blood was toxic, and they found that on average, as soon as you reach adulthood, most people have a noticeable amount of these forever chemicals in their body. And the thing with this water, right? Of course, you can say, I've been drinking this all this time, and it's I haven't died yet from it. I hear that a lot. But the thing is, sure, not yet. But how fit do you want to be when you're a bit older, right? When the pains start, when you're getting 60, 70, 80, right? Of course, it's difficult to measure, right? And that's why it's just now becoming a topic where people are becoming more health aware, right? But if you fuel your body with the best food and the best water and you exercise, more likely than not, you will be quite fit when you're older, right? But if you constantly eat junk food and you eat bad, or you drink bad stuff, then probably your body, your joints, everything will ache a little bit more.
And that brings me to that point, actually, why you're also here is we know in medicine that you have to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And it's roughly 35 gram per
Yeah.
kilogram, which amounts for an average adult between 2 and 3
Yeah.
liter of water that they need to drink.
Every day.
Yeah. Every day.
Especially
exactly.
here where it's so hot and
Yes.
everyone's chronically dehydrated.
Yes, and actually, if you want to glow, as Dr. Hala, my colleague said, if you want to have this shining and glowing skin, then you need to drink even more than that. So we are talking like 3-4 liters.
Like a gallon, yeah.
A gallon, yeah, which is quite something. I mean, I try to do this. It's not easy to drink so much water, but then again, really, I think also it comes up when you push yourself to do something, and you need to push yourself to drink that much water. There is, I mean, at a certain stage, when you drink this kind of water, which is bottled, you will probably not want to do
it's
this.
Horrible.
You will ask yourself, is it really good to drink that stuff? Yeah. But you will, with your filtered water, you feel good. Yeah.
It is funny because I used to not like water very much because of that exact issue. I struggle, especially if I want to drink a little bit more and not just 1-2 sips. I find it difficult to drink it. I find it like it's, for whatever reason, like this isn't just because I know what's inside it, right? Preservatives, this, that, microplastics. But I find it difficult to drink. I find it disgusting, right?
Yes.
And the interesting thing,
not disgusting, but difficult to drink.
No, because
really?
I had moments where it sounds weird, but like I almost threw up drinking water because I don't like it. And then I drink my water, right? And first of all, I know that it's the cleanest, healthiest. I know the materials. I know that I'm drinking the best I can drink, right?
Yeah.
And but it's easy to drink. And I would say it tastes good and it's easy. It's very soft. It's silky smooth. You drink it, and I can drink a lot. And it's like I never.
So you
get
think
tired of drinking it.
I would taste the difference?
I think you would, and I think you would drink more. Yeah. I've had a bunch of our clients tell me I drink a lot more now, and it's but it's like you said, with most people, especially in Dubai, it's a hectic lifestyle. You're always busy working this, that, the heat, you're running around. People are chronically dehydrated. It really is an issue here, and the thing is, I try to do this myself, to drink a gallon of water a day, and water is, after air, the most important substance we can give our body, right? Most of our bodies are, the majority is made of water, right? Our brain is almost all water. Lungs the same, right? Yes. And I urge anyone, if you don't believe me, to try this. It's difficult at first. It's something you have to get used to, but so is starting to work out, so is watching your diet, so is starting a business, so is starting whatever, it's always difficult in the beginning, but you'll get used to it. But I could tell a huge difference in my sleep, fell asleep faster. Felt more recovered. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not like groggy and I'm fit. I want to go. I could lift more in the gym. I could run further. I'm not as fast tired. I could focus more in university, on studying and everything.
And that was before you even used the filtered water, or always with the filtered?
This was before, because I was in university with going around, and
so but I was trying it with bottled water.
It was horrible. It was but I managed, because I said I need to know. Now I do this with my water, and I'm very thankful for it. But it felt like a superpower. It really felt like I'm superhuman. It felt like I couldn't believe it, because I was like, bullshit, come on, like it's not going to make that big. It makes a huge difference. So even with that glowing, I felt great. I never looked better, honestly. Since I've been doing that, it's amazing. And especially for the ladies here in Dubai, where skin is an issue and hair. A lot of it also, not just from the outside, right, where you would use a shower filter, or use filtered water to wash your face, but a lot of it is, like your doctor colleague said, is coming from the inside.
We have lots of patients with issues where we can't find the reason. Maybe one should look into such things like the water, because as you rightly said, it's a big amount that we need to drink every day, and we are made of a lot of water, 60 to 70%, and some organs are nearly 100% water, or 95%, which you wouldn't believe, the German word Wasserkopf,
it's so actually true. So true,
but especially also the lung contains a lot of water, so people need to understand that this is the main building material that we are made of.
I mean, you don't drink water for 2 days, you're dead, you know?
Look, if you mentioned before that your father was working in construction, or that he's had a construction company, and everybody who deals with houses knows. I mean, if you build a house, not only on not solid ground, but also with material that is doesn't contain the right sand and whatever mixtures, that falls apart, or that doesn't last long, and I think the same should be considered for our body, and I think I see our body shows us always when something is wrong.
For example, people in Dubai love their race cars, right?
Yeah.
It is very interesting. Maybe for a normal car you wouldn't tell, right? But I'd always say our bodies are kind of like race cars. They're incredible what they can do, but they're also highly technical. There's many things that have to work together perfectly, like in, let's say, a race car. And the interesting part is with these race cars, if you take the more expensive fuel, especially like in Germany, for example, we have like the V-Power from Shell and all these like very high octane or whatever fuels, right? Weirdly enough, these cars get more power. They're able to go faster, quicker. Their engines last longer. And we are also technically a machine, you know? Obviously a biological one. But the fuel we put inside ourselves with good food and a lot of water and clean air, you know, is very important to how much output we can deliver and how long our system will last, you know?
So it's actually a simple thing. You see it as a simple equation, basically. What we put in is what we get out somehow. And so we need to drink a lot, but the water should not contain certain substances. And you mentioned already the scaling and leaching of plastic and chemicals that comes from the bottles. But then if you have a glass bottle, there are also other substances that are mixed into the water in order to being able to distribute the water, which means you require a long shelf life.
And anyone can do this. You look at your water, you'll probably have 2 years of shelf life. So if you buy a water right now, it'll be probably till 2024, 2025. But as anyone can see, there's air inside, right? And whenever there's air, bacteria and germs can start forming, right? And so how do you guarantee that this water can sit outside in the heat, in a humid place, whatever, you know, for so long without anything happening? It's still being safe to drink, right? They have to add certain preservatives. And some they mention on the bottle. And some you don't need to mention because, for example, in Germany, it's, I believe, around, if it's less than 1% of the weight of the product, you don't need to mention it. So there can be a load of, and there is different preservatives you can use.
So even if you buy glass bottled water, it can still contain
it will still contain.
It will.
Because if you buy it bottled in a supermarket,
even
they
if
have
it's
to.
carbonated sparkling water, it can it will contain this because the risk is too high that it's getting smelly.
You know, and smelly, and also, you know, people literally get sick, right? So they have to do it. Like there's no other way to mass produce and mass distribute a product like that, right? And that's just one part, right? The preservatives in it, but the other part, and it's a big part, is the fluoride in it, because many people don't know it's a topic that's starting now, right? And
but so far you know only one brand that has fluoride in it, or do you know more than that one?
So many.
Yes?
So many.
And it's not labeled? It's not on the label?
No, it's labeled.
So what are the general thresholds or the...
So what we need to understand is fluoride is a nerve poison. It's a neurotoxin. So sure, there is technically a safe level where you don't feel it, which I think for a grown adult is 1.5 milligram, right? There are certain brands out there that you can probably get in every restaurant here, and it has 0.5 milligrams in one bottle, you know? So that already alone is quite scary, right? But now you mix in that and even Joe Rogan talked about this on his podcast, right? The only thing going for fluoride is that it's good or it protects your teeth. But multiple studies have come out and they all state the same thing. The people who drink the most fluoride have a lower IQ. And it's found to lower your IQ when you drink it, but especially also for children who are growing, right? So here in this country, we need to drink a lot. most of our bottled water has fluoride in it. Now you see some brands starting to advertise with 0 fluoride, this and that.
I
But
never understood this. There was also fluoride in the drinking,
Yeah.
in the tap water.
Yeah.
They put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Did they do it for the teeth? I don't think so. I mean,
that's what they
is,
say.
you
But what's
don't
the
know.
reason for it being in there?
I
Joe
think-
Rogan couldn't figure it out. I couldn't find a single website.
I think it's because they wouldn't put chlorine and they want to keep the pipes clean. This is
Maybe,
my guess.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always say, and Joe Rogan mentioned the best. What kind of trade-off this is? Would you take the trade-off of your teeth? Maybe you don't need to brush as much, but you'll get dumber.
When they get the drinking water, I know that in these water plants, they let all this water pass through an aquarium with a special sensitive fish. And as long as this fish stays alive, the water has a good quality. Yeah. No, they do that.
Yeah,
really.
but-
Or, not that they let it run through, but they
test- yeah,
they
yeah.
test the water with very, very sensitive fish. And but that doesn't matter for us because there's still a long way until the water comes out of the tap. Yeah. So it's much smarter to have the safety system just where you live, just where you take it. Yeah,
And
that's your system which you provide.
Exactly. So how you have to see it is one is something that needs to be mass produced, right? Because everyone needs access to safe water, right? But the other thing is it's your own system at home. It's for you. It's basically like a gourmet chef cooking you water, and that's where a filter system really comes in, because you have these bottles of water, which most of them contain a neurotoxin, plastic. You spend a lot of money on water. I always urge people to calculate how much you're actually spending, because it shocks people, right? Or you have your filter system, you don't need to carry it, you're not producing any plastic waste, you're not supporting, the big consumerism of, the boats and airplanes that ship it over here, but you have it right in your home.
Yes.
And the beauty of it is if you have a good system, and I always urge people to because it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's not just something you buy and you toss. It's an investment into your health, right?
Yeah.
And it's an investment into your future, into your children, into your pets, everything.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, try to go for something that's really good. Ask questions, what's inside it, what's it made of. And that, when you find a good one, it's basically, I always say, if you don't use a filter, your body becomes a filter.
How does it work, the filter?
So a good filter will use reverse osmosis technology. We didn't invent that. It's been invented by NASA many years ago. And basically what it does is it strips the water of everything. Minerals, but also everything that's toxic. No matter what came from the pipes, no matter what diseases, germs, anything.
Because they make membranes where they, with laser, they put little holes that have the size of a water molecule, which is actually the smallest molecule. Yeah.
Yeah. And only the water molecules.
One of the smallest molecules.
Yeah. But only, and that's the beauty of it, right? So only the water molecules can pass through it.
Yeah.
Which means that what you're left with is, we call it dead water or distilled water.
Yeah.
It's just bland water. And then this is where the art comes in.
Yeah.
You have to now remineralize the water. You have to make it actually optimal to drink. You have
And
to
you're
optimize
using
it.
stones for that, or
Exactly.
minerals,
So
natural.
There's different ways. You can use a powder, you can use liquid form of minerals, but we decided, nature is the greatest thing we have. When you look at how all of this works together, how did nature design water? Through glaciers, through the mineral rocks. And we said, okay, we want it to be the healthiest possible. So we're using great sourced mineral rock that's the highest of quality, and we let it run through it, and that gives off the minerals into water in a natural process. It's just like in the mountains, in the glaciers. It runs over the stones. People always think, oh, there has to be some other thing to it. It's like, no, it runs over the stones and it picks up the minerals. And if you use great quality mineral rocks, it works amazingly.
I see it that way. So we developed in a world of nature and became these humans, still being 60-70% of that water, but it should be that water. Yes. And obviously we replace this water several times a year. Our 60 liter, no, if you have, no, it's not 60 liter. I mean, 60%, it's probably 50 liter or so, depending on how much your weight is. Anyhow,
we don't discriminate.
Anyhow, but it should be that natural water, and what you're basically doing is creating a natural water out of the artificial water.
Yeah.
And in mass distribution, be it through the pipes or be it through bottles, it can't. It just can't
Yeah.
be. It can't be natural.
Yeah.
And people should have an eye on that they should use for their own nutrition the natural water. And the benefit is multiple. So you can have your you said before that you can even tailor the right constellation of electrolytes that you or minerals that you put in the water, and we can so if I have a patient who has a certain blood test result and lacking some minerals, he could use that and say, oh, look here, my doctor says I don't have enough magnesium, I have too much potassium or whatever. Yeah, and then you will design the water for that. So high blood pressure, maybe less chloride, but there's anyway, it shouldn't be chloride in the water.
Chloride is not that bad. It's chlorine that's bad. So chlorides are actually also essential for the body. It has to be in there. But of course it depends on the level, right?
But for blood pressure, I mean,
if you need it lower, then that can also be done, right? But here's also something that we have to look at, right? So our water, we can, but most of the time people want to change the mineral content because of the taste. If they are really unhappy, it doesn't happen a lot because most people, not to brag, but like they say it tastes good, right? Or it tastes like water. I personally think it tastes good, but it taste is subjective. You can never control. But we can, of course, enhance the taste, or let's say change the taste with more minerals or less, right? Because people, and they make this mistake, right? People always think that water is supposed to mineralize you. Water is supposed to have some minerals in it so that it can be a base pH, right? Not too high, not too low. If it's too high, it's bad for your body because it has to self-regulate. It destroys your stomach acid. If you're eating, then your digestion can get issues over time. If it's too low, your body has to self-regulate. So you want to get that optimal that's with your blood's pH, right? So blood 7.35 to 7.45. And I always say water, if it's between 7.2 and around 8, that will be good, right? But your main source of minerals should still be through a good nutrition, right? Because water is supposed to be basically the transport vehicle for these minerals to be able to get into the right parts of the body, into the cells, disperse, right?
So the selling point is not really that you can design the water according to the needs.
And also because if you have too much of one, you can get issues as well, right? If you have also too much magnesium, too much potassium, right? There can be too much. That's why people who drink or have these electrolyte drops, I said use it after sport, but don't do it in every drink because it'll become too much. Same way if you drink or if you take too much vitamin C, you can get side effects from it, right?
Yes.
So our thing is we optimize this water to be perfect for everyday consumption and a lot of it, right?
Yes, you get side effects. Sometimes it's tolerable. For example, with vitamin C, I'm a vitamin C fan. Actually, I'm taking too much vitamin C every day, between 7 and 10 grams, and you get diarrhea in the beginning. It's a side effect. That's how you can handle that.
Yeah.
Almost always.
There have been moments.
No, but you're right. I mean, we should take it easy with this. But drinking a lot of water is the issue which we need to do. And once we do that, we should drink healthy water. You are creating that healthy water. By the way, I'm talking to Robin Ganss.
Yeah.
Robin Ganss is the co-owner of a company called Sphere Water Systems.
Yes.
And I understand now that you are not only supplying a German water filter system, but you are also a part of the design, or you help designing the system, and you're creating also new products for the third world, and you're having also in your company people who can fix the filter in any house.
Yeah. So I come from Germany. We have a German product, and we say in Germany, if you do something, you do it right. And that's the mentality I approach life with, whether it's fitness, whether it's work, whatever it is, right? And so this all started with my father. First buying a filter from our the people we produce with, we've been working close for so many years now. And he bought his first filter 20 years ago. And then started drinking more and more water because of it. And then after 5 years, he used it for his coffee machine. Like, I'm not sure if I mentioned this one or the last one, but the coffee machine still runs. What starts breaking now is not the coffee machine itself, but it's the plastic buttons from too much use, right?
That's amazing.
So, but that's how good the water is.
Really
no descaling, no nothing needed, because it's just good, clean water, right? And that's how we got to it. But I said for Dubai, because our system is running perfectly for the past 20 years, which is why me personally, I give 10 years warranty, because I know it's going to last. Yes. It's truly a wonderful product. And I designed it because I said there's nothing on the market that I would personally use.
Yes.
And I'm not going to sell something I'm not fully standing behind. So I said, okay, I want to bring our good systems here. I've known it. I've been using it for so many years at home. And but I want to make it better. And this is where this full focus on remineralization comes from going the extra step. For example, in Dubai, people travel a lot. I always urge people this when they look at other companies. I'm like, you don't need to buy from me. I'm happy if you get a filter system and you start this journey because it means you're becoming healthier. But I always say, ask certain questions. What is the materials it's made from? Is it from good materials? Which country is it produced in?
Okay, this is the advice you can give with all your knowledge. And
exactly.
And this is those are the points where you are a perfectionist.
Yeah, it has to be perfect.
And you're the German soul, and you want to give the best filter.
And the one question I tell people to ask is, what do you do if you are gone for 1 or 2 months? People, that's common here. It was same with me. I grew up here. You leave for the summer, you come back, right? And the issue is, most of the other systems, maybe they've gotten more advanced since I did my research, but I don't think so. The issue is that what they should be doing is a filter change once you come back, because the water stays in there, and then slowly air starts getting. We have the benefit that our system is a completely closed system, so no air actually gets in. But even from the tap, there's still it starts. It goes back. So what we do is we actually use other type of filter that basically stops all bacteria. So we don't need this. We always say, wait, when you come back, flush for like a minute, get the pipe clear, and then you're good to use, so that you don't actually need a filter change once you come back. But if you don't have this kind of filter, I urge, even if the company doesn't recommend it, please do it, because it's your health at the end of the day, and do a filter change when you come back and you leave it sitting for 1 or 2 months. But these are the things, right, that need to be, because I always say I'm not a filter company. I'm a health company. It's people trust me with their health. They drink this, they drink it every day, and they should get the best for their health. And so that's why I take these extra steps, right? And then of course, this is the product. Then the services. We also offer free water consultations. It doesn't matter if you want to buy from us or not, but if you want to learn more about it, you can text me anytime. We come to your house. We test your water in your own house. We go through the water. We educate you on it.
You also tested the water in the bottled water, and. That brought you to the point that you don't like to drink it anymore,
Basically, yeah. And then you understand, and it's also with the water test, right? There's certain parameters, right, that you test on, because we test quite regularly in laboratories, and it depends how good is the laboratory, how clean is the laboratory.
That's true, actually.
Which like, what's the procedures? If they already come with me to take my water sample in a plastic bottle, I'm like, this is pointless. It needs to be glass,
Exactly.
And it's very difficult to find a good laboratory,
also,
right?
I mean, glass needs to be clean.
It needs to be sterile. It needs to be sterile and cleaned. And
cleaned with what?
Distilled water.
Yeah, exactly.
And then best would be with the UV light afterwards to get it, and then you fill the sample in there. But so there's so many parameters, right? That
did you find a laboratory that's fulfilling your demands?
We have 2 here that we work with, but it was difficult. It really was. There's one I walked in, I walked right back out. I'm like, there's no point. I saw this, I'm like, this is not the health and safety standards that I would even want for my own house, So there's no point testing my water here, because again, I'm not doing this to just sell systems. If I just wanted to sell systems, I could get some cheap systems from China and resell them and done, right? But that doesn't serve me. It doesn't do the people that put their trust in me. the service. And so I said it needs to be
I
a
also don't
good.
think that it's actually convincing for people, because you want, I mean, if you decide to have a filter system, you want to rely on it.
You
that
want
it
to know,
works,
yeah.
because you cannot see, and it's probably also, I mean, only if you're very sensitive, possible to taste it, like your dog. Yeah,
Yeah, they
who
only
knows
drink
the
the filtered
difference?
water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they don't want the normal water.
But you know, if I put myself in the shoes of somebody who wants to buy this filter, it's probably a reason why I haven't done it. Yeah, because you don't know how long the filter is actually working. Yeah, and you don't see the difference.
You know, we do a
And
filter
then you
change.
think, okay, good. I had these simple ones, and you know, where you can buy them. You get the pot, and then there is a filter, and
That's
you
hard.
put the
Those are
water
the
through
worst.
this. Yeah, and then you have this.
They are a
different
breeding ground.
water, and I remember, yeah, we did it for a while, and then we threw it away because exactly it was not really. It's not really convenient.
It's dangerous.
So, but but what I want to say is that obviously, I mean, people are definitely, I'm sure, open to filter their water, but they also want to rely on the fact that they get the filtered water, and that it is working forever and so on. And you can provide that. Yeah, you can provide that certainty that once you have installed that filter,
Yeah.
from your own experience, the water stays good. You have this by yourself, and you now drink only your own water.
Only that. And it's a good point you're making, because if you get this, you know, it's an investment. It's an investment to your health, and it's the shield that protects your body. You know, if you don't use a filter, you become the filter. If it's your shield that should protect you, it shouldn't matter. And that's the thing with our filter. It doesn't matter what the water is like before. One, you mentioned it, you know, one system we're producing for the third world, it's any puddle of water, I can put it in there, take that water, and I will get the cleanest, purest water out the other side. You know, and that's the same system that we have and that we're selling to people's homes, you know, just portable.
So even for somebody who has this mind of a prepper, yeah,
It's perfect.
yeah, it's perfect. So at least he has the system already installed in case he needs to use seawater or so.
Seawater.
Still a matter of how to get the water through it, but
seawater, you have to do a little bit more filter changes. But if you can get sweet water, it's optimal. And you can use it for
yes, any water.
Yeah, but what you mentioned is great, and I'd like to come back to it. Is because you have to be able to give people the certainty that what they're buying is actually going to work, right? And most filter companies will tell you change your filter 3 or 4 times a year. I'm like, but like, how bad are your filters then? Like, we change our filters once a year. If there's real heavy use, like we're talking a cafe or a restaurant, we say, okay, probably every like
it could also
half
be,
a year.
but it could also be that the filter gets, let's say, clogged up or so when there is a construction on the pipe.
Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. It's so with us, for example, even if there is that makes no difference.
Really?
Because we so to understand a good filter is kind of like watches. It's the clockwork. It's the you know, it's every mechanical piece has to work together. You know, it's not. And the thing is, most companies, you buy some pieces here, the membrane from there, you get this here, and then you put like you have your cartridge, which is one part of it, and then you have what's inside the cartridge, right? It's the charcoal, sediment filter, whatever, right? The membrane remineralization. And everything has to work together, right? And for example, our systems, we don't use an electric pump, right? So that's also, electric stuff breaks, especially when it has to do with water. We use a patent pump that we have that works with the water pressure, right? And it allows for always the right water to come through to flush the membrane, to keep it clean, you know? That's why we do our filter change once a year, and we change the pre-filter. And every 2 years, we also change the remineralization cartridge to a new one.
Do you think, do you have, like, let's say, a system in your company to remind the people that they need to have a filter change?
That's the next thing.
That's also something that I would probably forget to change. I deal a lot with air filters, and I remember it was actually when I was working in Emirates Hospital. It's more than 10 years ago. It was the first time that I had to actually look for a filter for somebody. Some patient, he needed a filter for his dust allergy, and I checked in the internet what's available, and I was just guessing something from Switzerland could be good or so. Yeah, until I found later on the best product, which cost me a little bit more research. But in the meantime, these air filters have become very popular, and you can buy them in any in every building market.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every mall, everywhere.
everywhere. And the funny thing is, it's like with printers, you know, you buy little money for the printer, but then you have to buy a cartridge every 3 months, or
Yeah.
every depending on how much you print, and the cartridge is very expensive.
Yeah.
So the business model is different. But also, I have observed we have sometimes sandstorms here in Dubai, and then actually within 1 day, the filter can be stuffed. Yeah, can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the yellow air.
Yeah.
But with your water filter system, it's different. Yeah, it's not depending on the load of particles
No.
that's coming, because it's getting flushed away from the
Yeah.
filter.
So I mean, there is some parameters. So if we have like super heavy, dirty water, like we're talking like extremes, like it's half sand or half mud, and
Okay, good. Where you can see that it's
like then that's a little bit different. But
How about oil?
oil does go through. It just gets stuck in the pre-filters, and what does make it through will get washed away from those.
So if there is oil stain in the water,
fine.
I can still drink it after it's filtered. And it has still the same quality as your good water, or not?
Now we're talking probably a little bit more filter changes needed, but our system, I always say this, it's even if your water is radioactively toxified, it will still, I mean, you shouldn't get near the filters, but only the water molecule gets through.
Yeah.
We have good pre-filtration, we have good, the best membrane, and that's why we can say you can still drink it. It'll be perfect drinking water, you know? So because it's an important point, you shouldn't have to worry about what comes before your water. Oh, now they're doing some work on the pipes. Can I drink this now? There shouldn't be an issue. And it's the same what you said with the filter changes. We have a lot of clients who already have a filter system, and it's interesting because different brands, but they say the same kind of thing, where they're like, I constantly have to remind them to do the filter change. I'm uncertain, can I drink this now? It's already overtime.
Exactly.
You know?
Maybe it gets even worse when the filter is.
It does, yeah, because an osmosis membrane is very delicate.
Yeah.
The second, like for example, chlorine gets on it, it starts getting destroyed, where a bigger particle can break it, and now your system is compromised. So the pre-filters you use, and we also put a big focus on that, is very important because it basically gets that already almost pure water gets to the membrane, and then the rest gets flushed out, but it doesn't damage the membrane, right? And that's something where if somebody buys the product, that it shouldn't be a worry, right?
And how big is this filter?
Our filter fits under any standard size sinks. So
really?
Yeah. Filter and a water tank. That's all you need, and then it gets connected to the tap.
So in the kitchen under the sink.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So that
I was thinking it's just like a room full, like like for a swimming pool. This kind of
no, it's compact. Yeah.
Extra in this technology room or so.
No, it's very compact. It fits under
really
pretty much
cool.
most things, whether you're in an apartment or a villa. And what we mentioned before, if we do something, we do it right. So I've partnered with a really good installation team. They do luxury villa refits and everything. So even if, let's say, your kitchen does fit right, for example, we installed one system where there was no space underneath the kitchen sink. So we installed it on the other side in a cabinet, and we can put the water pipes and everything, so it still works. So we can do. There's no excuses for us. We see a problem, we want to solve it. We don't run from problems. That's not an issue. And what you mentioned with regards to reminding people, that's exactly the point. We remind the people. We'll give you a call. We'll send an email. We're like, hey, in a month's time around, let's schedule a filter change. When does it work? And then you give us a time, and our team comes by. We change it real quick, and we're back out. And of course, when we change the filter, we test the system. Everything is working optimally, check the water quality.
But it's also obviously not for free. Yeah.
No, it costs. Yeah,
it's cool actually. Yeah, so I didn't think that it's so easy to install. So is there anything else that you want to say about your system?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing to understand is that when you buy a system is to look for a good one, honestly, because like I said, I didn't find a single one I would personally use, and it's when you understand the technically dangers of bottled water, and you don't really want to drink the tap water. I don't want to drink the tap water in Germany. I really don't. It's bad. And a filter is an investment. It shouldn't be something you're like, whatever, I need to have something. No, take your time, do your research, please. Look at what's important, look what's good, where materials, where is it from, and get something that's really good quality and that you can't just find on Alibaba, for example.
It's also good. I mean, if you can rely on the water that you get. For example, it feels somehow strange to use bottled water for boiling potatoes.
Yeah.
Feels strange. I don't know. I mean, for us coming from Germany, where we use the tap water usually, which according to you is also not the right thing to do, even in that country. But
Germany, many people don't know this. There's in our constitution, there is the government has the right to put tranquilizer into the water when it fears civil unrest.
Oh, really?
That anyone can read this up. Trinkwasserverordnung. Anyone can read it up. And when you realize this, and then you understand, the old pipes, and some have lead pipes, and the old copper and whatever, all these, and then they have cracks, and then it starts corroding, and dirt gets in there, and other algae, old house. It's not good. It's not good water. Maybe if you're somewhere in Bayern in the mountain region, then
for that purpose, it would be really good to have a filter. Imagine they put tranquilizer. I mean, if they do it in Germany, they will probably do it everywhere.
And the thing is always this: who decides when there is a potential civil unrest?
Yeah, okay, let's not go that far. But, I mean, even the possibility that it can happen, that is already a good point in order to have a filter.
And if you have a good filter, you don't have to care.
Unless you would like to be tranquilized. It's also probably a good thing. Which reminds me again of the Gatorade,
Makes for like a good movie night, just relax.
Yes, exactly. Electrolytes.
But it's pretty crazy if you think about it. And if you have a good filter, a filter that you can trust and rely on, you don't care. It's a convenience. People don't understand you can use the water for cooking, for your pets, for your children.
Recently, I have found myself preferring to cook for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, it's just like what you put in.
Yeah.
You and also if you're not really let's say very untalented, when you get good ingredients, you can cook something very nice.
People would be surprised how healthy you can eat, and it actually tastes really good if you put a little bit of effort in. Of course, if you're just chicken and rice.
So if you're cooking yourself, you should actually also make your water yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, like it's not just me saying it. I've heard it from our customers too. The coffee tastes better. The pasta, because what does pasta do? It soaks up water. What do potatoes do? It soaks up water. So it matters. It soaks up microplastic. It soaks up the chemicals, And we're talking, like, for example, from plastic bottles. It's forever chemicals. They're called that for a reason. It stays in your body forever, and it just becomes more and more, And it's like, when comes that threshold where now you have body inflammation, And your doctors, they can't find out what causes it. Why is this happening? Maybe, might not be, might be what you consume.
This is a little bit of off the topic, but there was this discussion about the face masks.
A lot of microplastics.
First of all that, and you inhale that microplastic, but also, I mean, the face masks are made mandatory to protect you from whatever is hovering in the air. And there was the one scientist who compared the face mask with the swimsuit and said, if you believe that the face mask is protecting you from what you inhale, then you should also believe that the swimsuit is protecting you if somebody pees in the water. And from that perspective, this water filtration is actually it's really important. I mean, for people who have a certain concern about safety and health, they should concern to filter their water.
And families, I always say you have kids growing. They find out, the studies are there, fluoride lowers your IQ, and especially also in growing children. And almost so many water bottles contain fluoride. Of course, it's a difficult thing to measure, right? How smart could my child have been? It sounds crazy to say, but that's something you'd have to ask yourself at the end of the day. Because the studies exist, it has shown that literally has the effect, right? So just for the safety, for safety reasons, if you have a filter, you're safe.
I wouldn't go that far with the fluoride. But
Multiple scientific
I
studies.
know, but when I was a father and I had young children, we even had to give them these little tablets. They were called D-fluorides. So vitamin D with fluor, and they said it's good for the bone and for the growth of the children. And I'm pretty sure my children they are pretty smart.
I mean,
so,
I drank the bottles of water also, growing up here. So it's
yes.
But I always say it's not what happens to you tomorrow. It's especially with this, because fluoride is not just IQ. It's also a bunch of other effects it can have on the body, right? So body inflammation, you can have thyroid problems, and so there's layers, right? And I always say it's like kind of eating McDonald's. If I eat McDonald's now, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if I start eating this a lot every day,
maybe there's something like people are concerned about climate change. Maybe they should be also concerned about IQ change.
we could use it in Germany. We could use it.
It's just like, there's probably there are so many changes in the world that we don't really know. One of it could be the IQ change. Yeah?
Look, they're finding out now that it's dangerous to charge your iPhone next to your bed, or that these AirPods we wear are not good for our brain, right? What are they going to find out if now the studies are coming out about fluoride? What do we know in 20 years? Microplastic, same thing. Microplastic wasn't a topic 10, 15, 20 years ago. And now they're realizing.
Yeah, but Robin, this is a little bit like too much alarm. Yeah, it can be also that in 20 years you find out that it was nothing.
Could be. But that's why I always say, when
it's definitely not nice to live directly under a high voltage power line. Yeah. I know there are also studies about this, but then already there's a certain distance that you can have, and then it doesn't matter at all anymore. Yeah.
That's why we mentioned it. It's at the end of the day, you want to live life a little, but it's you try to do most of it when you can. Try to live the healthiest, this and that. But if you're going to enjoy a chocolate cake and you do sport and you usually eat healthy, it's not going to kill you. You still have to enjoy life a little bit. And I think this is kind of something that applies to everything in life. It's not that you become this person that, I cannot drink anything and I can't eat this and I can't go outside because there's like dust in the air, right? But it's the awareness of knowing that then makes the difference. And then you start implementing small changes in your life with things that you use regularly, like a good diet, right?
Yeah.
You get aware, okay, processed food, it's not that good, okay, what can I start doing? Maybe I'll cook more for myself, right? Maybe I'll do this and this. And it's these incremental changes in your life that will ultimately add up over time, right? It's accumulative, and
I totally
over time,
agree. I think awareness is already the first step. And if you think about this, what should awareness actually do? Yeah, we have awareness, blah blah blah. But at the end, we don't do anything. No, it's not like this. Yeah. We listen into our body. If we are aware, am I feeling good? As long as I'm feeling good, it's fine. Yeah. But maybe at a certain stage I'm not feeling so well, and then I check, good, I'm aware of this and this. Maybe I should change these three things. Take the mobile phone out of my bedroom and whatever, do something about my water and
clean up my diet.
Yes, exactly. It always comes out. First step, awareness that it could be. Yeah. Then continue your life, but be aware that you should check if you are still feeling good.
Yep. And also one thing I dislike is there's a lot of people, especially on the internet, who tell you, oh, this is bad, this is good. But rarely is there anyone that actually tells you, then what can you do? It's always, oh, this is not good. This is like, you shouldn't do this and that. but what do? You got to drink something, you got to eat something, it's easy to say this is all bad food. Yeah, but what's the solution, right? And so, for example, what we've created to help people and to educate more and to spread the awareness, but also show people what they can actually do to then implement these changes if they want to make them, is we called it the Essential Guide for the Best Water in the UAE. I mean, it's a tacky title, but basically what it gives you is it gives you an overview. This is, this is what you should look out for when you buy bottles of water. Look for this, check this out, be aware of that, and this it's compact. It's 23 pages of just information, and it's big text, some pictures.
Cool.
And that's something we've created, because it's easier said to just say, oh, this is bad, don't do that.
So we will definitely link this under the video.
In my link tree.
I was just also thinking that if I lost it. I lost my thought.
All good. No, but it's interesting, or it's nice to see that it's becoming more and more of a topic, water, right? Because
now it comes back to me. Now it comes back to me. People have come with so many concerns about you just mentioned it, the food, and so many health concerns. And if you have any suspicion that there could be some toxic substance in your body, or something could be wrong also, or you could have overdone this or that, I think the best way is actually to flush it out. And flushing things out, how do we do that? Not with Gatorade. We do it with water.
It's one of the main purposes of water. It's not just to mineralize or to rehydrate, the temperature regulation of the body, but it's actually to flush out toxins.
Yes,
that's why we go to the toilet.
but then again, I mean, look, if we flush out bad things with bad water, it makes no sense. If you want to flush out something, if you want to flush a pipe or whatever, you would do it with something pure.
In Germany, we have the saying, mit dreckigem Wasser die Hände waschen.
Yeah,
you clean your hands with dirty water, and you're not going to get clean. And it's very true, because and this is where another aspect of water comes in, where we have the parts per million. It's the total dissolved solids. It basically tests the impurities in your water. It's not necessarily whether they're good or bad. Of course, if it gets to a certain point, you can tell this isn't just good minerals in there. We depends on where you look, but we always say between 80 to 100. After that, your water no longer has a good detoxifying effect, because it is too polluted that it can pick up the dirty stuff and adequately flush it out. Same way it is too polluted to actually get to the cells in the first place, to reach these places and flush it out, right? So, and when you look at your bottled water, a lot of them start at 100 and above, 110, 120. And for example, distilled, clean, dead water, osmosis water has 2 to 4, right? With our systems, when we add the minerals to get a balanced pH, we have between 15 and 50, 60 tops, depending on the mineral load that somebody would actually want, right? And it also depends a bit how long the water is sitting in the mineral cartridge, if you flush it out more, less, and if it sits. So it's some variation, but it should be not more than 60 technically. And it's a good topic, because people don't they underestimate. They always think hydration. No, but it's cleansing the body. It's flushing out the toxins. It's flushing out the impurities. Our bodies are such works of wonder that they've been designed by nature in a way that we can clean ourselves.
Did you actually check out these holy waters?
Zamzam, Hunza.
Yeah,
they're good.
Are they good?
They're good.
Yeah.
It's clean water. And
so
it's
why
good
not copy that? Yeah.
Well, that's technically what we did. Obviously, they're a little bit more alkaline. It's not something to drink every day.
Yeah.
But they're very good in mineral content, of course, very clean, because they come from a well underground, right? Or the Hunza water comes from a region in Pakistan in the mountains. But that's basically what we're doing. I always say you get your glacier spring in your own home, your own spring water, because that's why we use mineral rocks, and that's why we source the best ones, because that's how nature designed it. and that's how we want to replicate it.
And that's probably the reason why people believe in the power of this water. Yeah,
could be because it's good water. Yeah, and if you drink a lot of it, you feel better. I urge everybody, try it. Drink good water and drink a lot of it, and see if it does. I'm 100% guaranteeing it will positively impact and improve your life, because most of us, especially here, are dehydrated anyways.
Yes, especially when you talk a lot.
Yeah.
But maybe also if you listen a lot. So I think we spoke a lot and too much already about water. Everybody is thirsty now.
It's an important topic.
Robin Ganss.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
Co-owner of SWS Sphere Water Systems. Yes. You bring the German water filtration technology to the
fully
world.
Made in Germany.
To the Middle Eastern African MENA world.
Exactly.
Or even further.
For now here, but I mean, if I can make this global, it would be amazing. And thank you for having me. Like we mentioned earlier, we have my link tree in the bio, so you can get yourself the essential guide. There's my contact information, our website, and we do free water consultations. Give me a call or text message. Either myself or one of our water consultants will come by.
Do you have a website?
Yes.
Yeah.
spherewater.com.
Okay, so you should put the video on your website.
I would love to.
Okay.
I would love to.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.